Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So this is a new tutorial we are going to start today. So in this tutorial we are going to discuss about the Docker. So what is the Docker? What is the problems we are facing before the Docker, and how we are going to achieve those problems by using the Docker, and how we are going to use the Docker in real time. So all the things we are going to understand in this tutorial. So before understanding Docker, first we need to understand what are the problems we are going to face before the Docker. So first, let's work on one Spring Boot application, and we'll run that application. We'll access some of the endpoints, and we'll see how we are going to run the application without the Docker, and what are the problems we are going to face. In this video, we are going to focus on these things only. In the upcoming videos, we are going to choose one by one the concept, and I will explain clearly with practical examples. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, I already developed one project. Okay, this is one of the project I already implemented. Okay, so if you open this project, this is one of the Spring Boot application. If you open this one, this is the main application. So I'm going to expose the REST endpoints. That's why I added the Spring Boot initializer. Okay, let's open my builder Gradle file. So you can see my builder Gradle file. So Java version is the 21. So if you want, you can use any version. Okay, Spring Boot version is a 4061, and I added the some of the dependencies. So those are called web dependencies. Why I'm adding the web dependencies? I'm going to run my application as a jar application. If you add the dependency web application, by default we are going to get the Tomcat, embedded Tomcat, so that we don't need to run, we don't need to install the specifically Tomcat to run the war. Okay, that's why I'm adding the web dependencies. This is a main class file. This is the starting point of the application. And second, I created one DTO. The DTO contains a few of the information about the employee. So ID, name of the employee, department, and salary. These are the fields I mentioned here. So now I exposed one REST controller. So this is a REST controller. So if I annotated with the REST controller, this class is going to behave like a controller. Every request is coming to this class, and this is the endpoint I provided. This is a get endpoint. Okay, so if anybody don't know how to create the Spring Boot application, created uh, I already created one video for this application creation. So I will mention in the description. You can check out that one and understand how to create the Spring Boot application freshly from the scratch. I don't want to waste your time, so that's why I created already one application and I implemented the REST call. Okay, now let's run this application. Okay, so you can see the application port is all somewhere it is already running. That's why we are unable to start this one. So let me change the port. How we are going to change the port? We are going to change the port by mentioning server dot port. Okay, server dot port equal to 909090. I'm going to mention as a port as 9090. Somewhere in my system, one of the application is running on the port 8080. That's why we are unable to run this application. Okay, now I'm running this application. You can see now application is running successfully with the port of the 8080. Okay, now I'm going to hit this service to get this employee information. Okay, so now I already built this. So it is running on the which port? 9090 Okay, this is the 9090 port. So I am hitting this server. So I got the response. If you see in the response, I got the response. That means we are able to successfully build our application. Okay, in real time you can assume this is one of the service like any admin module. So for example, if you take the it is a Spring Boot application. For example, if you take any banking domain or any e-commerce site, so they're going to have the multiple admin users, right? Okay, so the admin operations is going to build one of the service that is called admin service. Similarly, you can try this is one of the service. Okay, now I'm going to build this one. So after writing the code, if you want to run this one, we need to generate the artifact file, right? That is the build file. Okay, I'm going to build this. I already set up the build configuration of the Gradle. That's why I'm simply clicking the build, Gradle build. So if anybody don't know how to build the application in the Gradle mode, just comment in the below the video. I will create one more video for this one, how to set up the Gradle to build the application. Okay, that is a simple video I will create. It's just want to take the 5 minutes of time. It will just take the 5 minutes of time, but I will create that one for you. Okay, so now my application is building. Let's see. You can see the build is started, and it is started that one, and we are able to see the jar here. Okay, so build is success. Now we are able to see the build is success. So once build is success, then if you go to the application location, so here I'm going to the application location. So if you open here, you can able to find the build folder. If you open build folder, you can able to see the lib. This is the lib, this is our jar. Okay, so now our jar is ready. Now I need to run this one. Okay, if you want to run this one, how we are going to run this one? Okay, just copy this one, assume. Okay, let's assume we are running this one into one server. Locally we cannot run, right? So we are going to copy this jar file into one of the server, and we are going to run it. So currently we don't have the servers, right? Let's assume I am connecting one server. Okay, just assume I'm going to create one folder. So this is the sys1. That means this is a system one server. Okay, let's assume this is a server. I interacted this server, I connected this server, and I pasted this jar. That means I copied it one. Then I'm going to run this one. Okay, so before running, what we have to do it, before running we have to check whether Java is installed or not. Why? Because this service is required Java, right? To run this Spring Boot one, the server requires the Java hyphen version. Okay, I'm checking this one. Java is installed or not. Java is installed, and Java 21 is available. Is okay. So now once Java is available, then only you are eligible to run this jar, right? So how to run the jar? Java hyphen jar name. Okay. You can see I am able to run this jar, and let me try to interact this one 8080. I'm able to get the response also. You can see the log, we are able to see the log, and we got the response also. Now what we are going to do it now, you have a situation, you need to scale this service. If you want to scale this service, what you are going to do, you are going to get one more server. Let's assume you are getting one more server. Okay, I don't have the multiple systems. I'm taking the example in my system only, like keeping the folders sys1 sys2 as a servers. Okay, so I created one more service. Okay, one more server. Okay, let's assume this is a server. Okay, now what we have to do, we need to copy this jar to this system. Okay, let me rebuild this jar with another port. Okay, so this is in same server, right? So definitely we need to have the another application. Why? Because uh, same port cannot be used to the different applications. So now build is completed. Now go to the location. So go to the system 2 and paste this. Here in the system 2, I am going to open the CMD again. Then what I have to do, so again I need to check whether the Java is installed in the system or not. I am checking Java hyphen version. Okay, so again say Java is installed. If it is not there, we need to install that one. So again I'm going to run this one, Java hyphen jar emp. Okay, I am able to run this one. Okay, so now I am going to interact with the 9091 port. So I am able to receive the response also. So see here, here the application is running in 90901 port, here the application is running on the 90904. So what we have to understand here, what we did, let's say an example, I want to run the application into two servers. That's why I created the two folders in the same machine. Let's assume two servers. Okay, these are the two servers. Okay, server 1, I install the Java and I run the application. Server 2, I install the Java and I run the application. What is the common factor we are doing here? We are installing the Java. That is the dependency of the our project. So that means whatever the common dependencies required for the application, like let's say an example, my application required the Java, that is a one factor. My application required the Spring Boot, that is a one other factor. So now what you have to do is you have to install Java and respective dependencies in the server and run the application. Okay, let's say an example, if it is one or two, the user can connect to the servers and deploy the Java and install the Java and run the application. Server to install the Java and run the application. But in real time, if you let's say an example, if Flipkart, they are going to announce a big billion day. In that case, if you want to scale the application multiple servers, like 100 number of servers, so there is a chance maybe the user can install the wrong version of the Java. In that case, our application won't be run. Okay, that is a problem, right? So there is a possibility of the user manual errors. Okay, that is a one of the problem if you go with this approach without the Docker. Second one is, so it is a not portable. Why? Because you are running one application in the multiple servers, but you have to do the some manual configuration each and every server. Okay, you cannot take the one thing and run on all the servers. It is not going like that. You have to more careful about the dependencies running. Okay, then the scaling become problem. That's what we are saying, that why scaling become problem. You have to launch the new server, then you have to do all the setup again. So these are the basic problems we are facing if we don't use the Docker. Okay, so to overcome these problems, we are going to use the Docker. How you are going to use the Docker and how it is overcome these problems, we are going to see in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.